I'm so tired. This is supposed to be an easy job. This sucks, man. It's a Friday, I've got to get the heck out of the country, and we've just lost an entire screw.
We now have a queen-sized hole in the motor leaking oil from where I've just snapped off the over-tightened oil drain plug.
Perfect scenario would be that we're still in Peru right now, but we're not.
In Peru, surrounded by tuk-tuk parts and experienced mechanics, this might not be too big of an issue. But here in Chile, where I have the only three-wheeled vehicle in the country, this is a huge problem, delaying the trip far more than we already have.
¿Qué es tu plan? ¿Cómo? ¿Qué es tu plan?
Tengo que explicar.
Good little setup, eh? First wild camp in Chile, now that we're back. Buenos dias, mis pats on zoomies.
We begin the day in the tranquil Atacama Desert of northern Chile. Far from civilization, but also far from the dangers of the Chilean border towns we encountered in the last episode. On paper, traveling the world at my own pace feels like it should be as chilled as Paddy is here enjoying the morning sun. But you may know, nothing ever really goes according to plan on the three-wheel dream.
Vibra tropical, jugosa como un beso de parcha. Me pone feliz cuando bailas, sí. Truco, bailando el truco, sabor piña dulce. Truco, usando el truco, sabor caña dulce.
More or less driving highways all the way to Argentina. The first Argentinian exit that they give us for a border crossing, we're going to cross into and then head to Paraguay from there. What do you think about that, Miss Pats?
No. Relax. Look at this stunning thing, Miss Pats. That's maybe the most beautiful local
church I've ever seen in all the trips in South America. So that's a beautiful pink church. We're in Wara. We've driven an hour. We're about 2 hours from Iquique. This is where we might have been able to stay. I haven't seen a hotel, but there might be one if we didn't camp last night, but camping was just perfect. So we bought a little breakfast from a local panaderia, and we're about to just park up in here, let Paddy out. Hey, you've got to wait for me. No. You're getting a little bit disobedient, I think. You're just making your own rules sometimes, I've noticed. Stay. Sit. Good girl. Break. Vamos, por aquí, pati. Good girl. There we go. Wide open space. Proud of you, Miss Pats.
Paddy enjoys a nice run around and we fill up on a simple breakfast and a new Chilean snack that I'd not found before.
Galletitas sabor limon. These are probably like an 8 out of 10. I like them.
From here we hit the road, driving the only stretch that goes north to south before arriving in Iquique far quicker than we expected.
I don't know if you can see the buildings out there. That's the ocean. That's Iquique. That's a lot of rubbish running out this right side of the shoulder as well. What's looked like it's become an absolute just dumping ground outside of the city, unfortunately. On both sides of the road. Right now you're seeing the outskirts of Iquique versus what you're gonna see where we're staying, right near the ocean. I've been told by locals that's a good spot, so we're heading there now. Gorgeous. Just past the saddest thing as well. Didn't know this existed even in Chile, or I've not seen it too much in Latin America. I saw a dog cemetery where it's self-explanatory. Kind of sad. I'm grateful for you still being kicking and looking alive, Miss Pats. We're taking the route less used down, and usually in any other country other than Chile this would probably be a dirt road, but in Chile this is nice and paved, and it's all really cemented back, the rocks, so that there's not even any avalanches. What are they called? Landslides. It's cool. Iquique is kind of gorgeous. Wow. Yeah, we got to Iquique. We can't check into the Airbnb, so I'm gonna hit the gym. Keep the routine. I'm a bit like cooking in the head, basically, but it's the stress and anxiety that will just leave my body as soon as I get in the gym, pretty much. We're positive most days. It's just one of those days, you know. But not with you, Miss Pats. It's always big smiles.
estos tiempos, para ser honesto, soy una persona
So by the way, this is what a $6 gym looks like in Chile for a one-day use. The most expensive gym I've ever seen in Latin America, but good quality stuff. And I got the job done. We're cooked. We're tired.
Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, just disappointed, in all honesty. I got a dog barking at me, but we're on the street. This is where we were supposed to be staying. Camping last night, I had internet, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna pre-book an Airbnb for 2 nights to just be comfortable, rest up, because right now I'm pretty exhausted, and my attitude towards traveling right now is just pretty darn low. But I've gotten basically to the zone, and I've looked on Airbnb for the exact address, and I've realized they haven't even approved me. I've requested to book. We've had conversations about 2 p.m. I could check in. It's now currently 3 p.m. I re-messaged them at 1 p.m. This guy is pissing me off. You, sir, I haven't met yet. So yeah, I messaged him 2 hours ago, never got a reply, still no reply. And now I've checked Airbnb again. There is no Airbnb listing under $200 for the 2 nights. Like, this is insane. What's going on in Chile? So I'm used to paying like $6 in Bolivia for a decent hotel, and now I'm just getting smacked in the teeth anywhere I go. For empanadas, for fuel, for the lot. Chile's doing me a doozy, to be honest. Why is a country that's got such strict police so insecure and unsafe, so expensive, and so hard to get into? Like, I had to get a visa, Patty's documents were insane, and I'm kind of speed traveling to almost leave now, because I'm keen for some facturas in Argentina where the price is half of what it is for everything in Chile. Anyway, there's almost an 100% chance we're just hungry. The only thing we've eaten today is what you've seen on camera. 3:30 in the afternoon, we should eat something. That's what we're on the lookout for. I'm gonna go check out a bit of the ocean.
We went across the road, we found a typical spot doing completos. I'll show you what a completo is. I've had one before, but off camera, so this one will be interesting to try. And we found some oil. We've got to do an oil change at some point, ASAP. Maybe in this town. I'm really doing everything possible to kind of stall me withdrawing my booking from this Airbnb. I really want to stay. It's a beautiful Airbnb. They just haven't got back to me. So I'm frustrated. And I had no idea that this spot would have so many trucks. Even this noise is really f***ing me off the wall. Oh, what the f***? This is Chile, where you cross the road and there's a fat seal looking at you. What's going on? What's going on in Chile, Miss Pat? This is insane. I had no idea we were going to see that right then and there. That's insane. That's crazy. Traveling is wild. Me dijiste eso es tradicional, los dos, más o menos.
Es bastante consumido.
Perfecto, es un completo. Hot dog chileno. Qué bueno. Gracias.
¿Con más personas viene usted solo?
Yeah, solo. My last completo was huge. Twice as big as this one, but this will sort us. Look. Oh, holy cow, Miss Pats. That's a lot of bread. Gracias por eso. So it's a hot dog, a little bit of tomato, avocado, sauces on top, and a nice crispy bread. Heat it up as well, nice and hot. You ate an entire bread bun. I've never seen you do that, Miss Pats. It's your cheat day too, is it? We got the parking inspectors. La policía! With the police coming. So we gotta get out of here. They're literally taking photos of the vehicles and asking questions later, aren't they, Miss Potts? This side, this side. Good girl.
Yeah, sweet. We're feeling a lot better now. And we do have to stay here. C or C? Yes or yes, we have to stay. Because nothing of my gear has battery in it currently. So a hotel with a garage is now what we're on the lookout for. Unless I got approved for the Airbnb, but I doubt it. I need to check my phone still. That's complete That is beautiful. Not me requesting, her saying like, check-in is at 2 p.m, me saying thank you. That's good enough for me. She said, dear Ryan, you didn't respond yesterday. If I needed the apartment ready for you, it can be ready from 6:30 p.m. onwards. 6:30 p.m. What am I gonna do for 2.5 hours? But this is what being on like drive-abouts in random cities in random countries takes you to. This is a beautiful plaza in Iquique. That's showing off. Colonial style buildings. Look at that. All wooden front. That's sick, man. And this is a pedestrian only kind of walkway, restaurants, markets. That's wholesome. Nice. The universe came through. That was so much easier than I thought it was going to be. First hotel we went to, they accept Pats, and it's only, and I say only like it's something cheap. It's $40 US per night. So that's even cheaper than the Airbnb was going to be. Obviously it's an Airbnb, but kind of looks good too. I'm excited. Sorry for the negativity that has been me before the hot dog. That was a really good hot dog too. Gracias. How about that, Miss Pats? So much more than a weary tuk-tuk traveler could ask for. Private bathroom even. And there's breakfast included? What? We're at that touristic zone for pedestrians only with Pats and looking for some dinner. Find something nice, I'm sure, through along here, and something for dessert. It's been a big day. So we've got once what looks like a railway track, but it's now a paseo peatonal is what I'm trying to say, which just means just a walking pedestrian path only, which connects to the plaza. So it's pretty spectacular here in Iquique. Just see it on foot at night, a lot more chill. We've got a nice place to stay. Oh my goodness. Little streets. Nice architecture, I like it. So I've realized that every now and then I start to miss a bit of Peruvian food. We've come to a cevicheria, which is a Peruvian spot that does obviously the famous ceviche of Peru. I kind of miss that. Looking at a menu and knowing everything that's on it and understanding what it is. And Miss Pats, look at that. That is lomo saltado, arroz chaufa, and papas fritas. Look at that. A little plate from Peru. That looks delicious. Cooked to perfection. Wow. Chile does good Peruvian food as well. Little patitax. Patitax. A little patitax. Good girl. Where'd it go? Where did it go?
I smacked a lavish breakfast back, provided by the hotel where it was nice to again have access to dulce de leche, Chile's popular spreadable caramel.
You go north from here, these countries above us don't have this custom to just put caramel on bread and call it a breakfast. So
all the parades were being held around the corner from my house.
I was looking forward to a morning of putting on a good podcast and chilling with Patty while I serve as the tuk-tuk, but that wasn't until it all went completely sideways.
I'm so tired. I'm so tired. This is supposed to be an easy job. Man. It's a Friday, I've got to get the heck out of the country, and we've just lost an entire screw. This sucks, man. You gotta have the right tools for the job. I got halfway through. I'm just taking off the bigger cap to remove the oil, and we've just incredibly, with a lot of strength, I felt like this was not gonna go well, and I didn't have the right tool for the job. I needed a 21 and I bought a 17 by accident. And I thought just for this one off, I'll use the interchangeable wrench, and I've literally ripped it off its socket. I have no idea how we're gonna solve this. It's a Friday today. I don't think this is gonna be an easy job, and we can't drive anywhere now that we've just pulled the entire screw off the thing that holds the oil in. This is really bad. I want to get out of Chile, man. I'm tired. I'm so tired. I'm so tired of problems, and I'm so tired of traveling right now. I want a break, and this is not a break in the right direction. This is a literal break. Dad,
Good morning.
how's it going? Can you check?
How are you?
Yeah, I just had a shocker. Do you mind checking the photos I just sent you and tell me how screwed I am with that? How big of a problem is that?
Holy son.
I don't know how tight the mechanics in Lima put that on.
Well, son, you don't have that part on board. You've got to actually, more than likely, they've got to pull the motor out to actually replace that, possibly. Whereabouts are you?
Yeah, like stuff happens on the adventure, and it is what it is. They gave me a spare nut. I remember seeing it, and I thought it was in here, but no, it's in my box of parts in my old tuk-tuk in Brazil. To make matters worse, I'm in the parking garage that's like across the road. I'm supposed to call when I'm done with the mechanics, and she locked me in. I can't even leave. The issue is I've got no telephone battery to call, and we're cooking. We are cooking right now, ladies and gentlemen. What a time.
Locked inside the garage, I felt trapped as my mind ran in circles, unproductively staring at this huge mess I had on my hands. Everything had just changed within an instant. I do not have time for this. Chile is too expensive of a country for me to let days pass without moving, awaiting path from Peru.
Hola. Hola. I've got the business card, we've got the phone number. Hola. ¿Cómo estás, señor? Estoy atrapado adentro de este garaje. ¿Puedes llamar? ¿Cómo? El hotel está cerrándome adentro del garaje y no tengo batería en mi teléfono para llamar. What a legend. Gracias, señor. Gracias. This is intuition at its finest right here. We're standing on this like makeshift roof thing. Tuk-tuk's down there. Paddy's just really thinking, what is going on? This guy, he's my owner.
I eventually got out of the garage and got ice cream.
It's a cookies and cream caramel ice cream. How good is that? Yeah, listen, that was a much needed gym set. Behind me there's a sports bar and grill, so I think it's a good night. Some issues in the day, good excuse for a beer, and some maybe chicken wings. We'll see how we go. Hell yeah, this is a Chilean beer. I don't know which one he was talking about, but this is spot. Chilean amber lager. Cheers. This is much needed. That's cold and fresh. It's a good thing. The tuk-tuk's out of order because we probably couldn't drive anywhere till at least the afternoon by drinking this whole thing with the 0 blood alcohol limit in Chile here. Big day, lads. Hooking. Cheers to us, eh? Big couple weeks. Big couple years. What a day, what a day. We needed this, man. We needed this so badly. Right, so because we're staying so long in Iquique, we do have to get the documents ready for Paddy to cross to Argentina.
In hindsight, everything happens for a reason, and of the few cities I have on the route ahead, this is the best place to organize Paddy's documents to cross to Argentina.
He's doing a certificate of health. Paddy's got all the vaccines, but it's really just the rabies vaccine that's necessary. Because I'm a foreigner as well, they said that the chip that she has with her details and things, that's not necessary, but he's including it anyway just because we have it.
And the last thing is here, the little ticks and fleas, internal and external. There's a little tablet they give that lasts like 3 months. This here is the government building that we need to go to get all the documents for Pat's looked at so we can cross to Argentina. I hadn't planned this detail at all, and this was a very productive use of time since these take a few days to process even after the health checks are done. We should have the papers ready for whenever the tuk-tuk was set to go. Hey, show me what you got. What did the vet give you, huh? Show me what you got. The vet gave you a little pig ear. Look at that, you're taking it to your bed. Happy, Miss Potts? You did such a good job with the vets. You got a little gift. I didn't even charge me for that. Little legends. Enjoy.
Let me see if he's got this as well.
Thanks, man.
Amigo, también necesita una tapa.
A couple episodes back, you might remember this United States legend Brian from Tacna, who invited us into his home and fed us our last Peruvian meal before we crossed into Chile. He was once again saving the day, tripping to several different tuk-tuk part warehouses to track down the parts that we need. I'm sorry that you're running around, my friend.
No problem. No, the first one, the thing was the first place that you sent me to, it was just a dealership. So
No
it was
parts.
just full of all the different motorcycles, and this one, as you can see, has all the parts and stuff.
We're in good hands, Miss Potts.
I was hoping to buy an entire side motor panel, but this wasn't in stock and would have taken an extra 5 days to be shipped from Lima. He bought and organized the drain plugs to be sent via taxi across the border to the Airbnb I stayed in while in Arica, and from there, the host was going to mail me the parts here in Iquique. I'm again so grateful for Brian's help, with that spontaneous market meet being a vital help to our travel.
And then here we are, we've got my friend just receiving the package of little parts. That is gonna arrive hopefully tomorrow, but tomorrow's Sunday. So if not tomorrow, Monday it is.
We now had time to pass, and with Patty, we ventured to the coastal markets here in the city.
Look at that, Miss Potts.
Wow, it's kind of nice. We've got more days in Iquique. This coastline's kind of beautiful. Some market stands behind us. It's just even nice to chill, rest, and get to know Iquique a little bit more than we would have if we just got out on the road the next day with zero mechanical issues after the oil change.
Good girl.
There's a lot of like selling of things that you need to have a home for, and we've been on the road nearly 3 years. We had 3 years without having like a permanent stay in a residency. Makes you like miss those little comfortabilities. Patty is pulling me like no tomorrow. Hey, no hagas eso. 21. If only we had this before. Now we've got it. We'll never have a breakage again. Good girl for waiting. You're amazing. Let me just say, I wouldn't come to the center of Iquique without this little one. There's a lot going on. This is like the edge of it. This is where the kind of chaos starts. If you go that way left, it gets absolutely mental. We bought some funnels from the very, very center. And on the way there, I witnessed, no joke, like there's a car alarm going off, but I witnessed 2 drug deals. I'm not even kidding. I literally watched the same guy pull up to someone on a bicycle. They did the little handshake after he reached in his pocket, and he just sped off. Madness. We've got a place that's he's an old head. If you know what that means, you know what that means. He's a guy that can get stuff done, and he doesn't muck about. He said 8:30, be here with your vehicle. If you're any later, I got other clients to deal with, so don't come any later. And we've got Patty's documents getting worked on right now, so that'll be ready tomorrow as well. It'll all come together as it always does with a 3-wheel drive. It just takes a bit. You know how it is. Slow and steady, but we get there in the end. Here we go. Oh, this is decent. This is the half time we're getting it done lunch break. Little Coke Mini. That's a prawn? Is that a prawn gift? I don't know. Look at this. Look at that. I've never seen empanadas
shaped like this. These are well hot. This is a pizza empanada spot. What do you think, Miss Butts? The fact that I didn't know what I was getting is so evident. That's prawns and cheese is what I got. I don't know the word for prawns still in Spanish. So when he just said that's a pretty popular one, I said, right, chuck us that. And then, oh yeah. And this is bacon and cheese. They're so hot. Oh, I'm making a mess of myself. All up, $5 US as well. We'll take that. We're here bright and early. We're getting the tuk-tuk prepared. We've got to kind of fill the oil up to the high so we can drive it probably 10 minutes across town. And we don't want to keep this guy waiting because he seems like he knows what he's doing. Let's see what the oil is saying though. That is how I left it. Yeah. It's almost all drained out. We're just putting 400 mils of this oil in the back crown side. We're using 15W50, and that's like a motorcycle oil. Right, we're just checking the dipstick now. We got a little dipstick on the right side for the main motor oil. First off, clean that. Yeah, right there is where it was sitting. This is the low mark, and it's slightly under low. So we've got to trickle some of this oil in there, but first I'm gonna stuff the very little of oil that is coming out with this rag. Look at Miss Putts.
Like, have you been able to jam a rag in the hole and stuff?
I have, yeah. I just got it right now slightly under the midpoint. I think that's a good sweet spot.
Just add another 100 mils and see where that comes to. Look forward to chatting to you later to see how it all goes.
Yeah, surely, hopefully,
Yeah.
fingers crossed.
The three-wheel dream. All right, see you, buddy. Bye.
Love you, Dad, bye. Quick call with the dad. He knows a lot more about what's going on than I do. Look at that. Getting back out there. And from running it that couple minutes just there, we've got 2 oil drops, so we've got to run. Yeah, how's that? How's that? The towel's still in there, which is nice. Beauty! Another beautiful day. Well, how's that? We made it. Got us leaking about, 6 drops every minute. So, yeah, definitely when it's hot oil, a bit more fluid, a bit more liquid, runs a bit quicker. Right, so it seems like he doesn't have a workshop. That's a worrying sign. It looks like he's done a few jobs. You can see the oil slicks, the oil marks that are on this grass here as well. And he's bringing the jack up. It looks like we're doing it outside. Mate, he just had to look at it for literally 3 minutes, said nothing, and just walk inside. ¿Qué es tu plan?
¿Cómo?
¿Qué es tu plan? Para eso.
Tengo que explicar.
Pero, perdón, amigo. Hay de... No, sí, podrías explicar. Por no tengo otro tapa de motor. Todas las partes llegan de Perú.
¿Tú quieres sacar la torca?
Sí, pero hay ese filtro de aceite es plástico. Yo no tengo otro más de eso tampoco.
¿Ya?
Ajá. Entonces, si tú rompes, no tengo otro. Entonces, quiero saber si vas a romper.
Y si lo que estoy haciendo ahora es para sacar la torca.
Oh man, terrible news. The way like he jacked it up and then he got the drill out and I was like, hold on, tell me what you're doing. And he's like, do I need to explain to you what I'm doing? And I was like, this guy's pretty rude. I know it's 8:30 in the morning, but he was basically explaining that he would drill 2 little holes basically in the motor, but this is the broken part of the cap. He would drill 2 little holes in the side very shallowly, if that's even a word, and he just stick a little claw in the 2 holes that he drills and tries to turn them out. So I'm just saying, like, hold on, like I thought you would take the motor cap off so that you don't damage and hit potentially the oil filter, which is plastic, right beside where he was drilling. And if that all got caught up in the motor, it's like that's and it's an ugly mess that can cause me a lot more problems. He's like, I don't know how to take the cap off. You need a mechanic to do that. I thought, and I was like, you told me you could do it. And he's like, no, but it's a lot better that you do take the cap off if you can take the cap off. He didn't think it was possible. And I was like, yeah, it is. And he's like, all right, well, I'm not the guy then. It's a lot better that we don't risk this with my drill. Off you go. And I just said, all right. So he obviously didn't charge me anything. And he's giving me a recommendation for the mechanic down the road, but we're just losing oil. I'm gonna put more oil in before I drive anywhere. Oh, we just found a new spot. He's got a couple of cars that he's working on currently, but he's just looked at the motor and he's confident that he can get it done for me. But he said at 4 p.m. I'd have to come back. So, but he could get it done today, which is what we need. And yep, on the way, we picked up Paddy's documents. They're in the back, safe and sound. We're ready for Argentina as long as we get this insane oil drip fixed and sorted. I'm nervous as heck. I'm very much filled with a lot of a stress ball in my chest if it doesn't come across on the camera, because we have to get out of here. I do have a friend coming to Argentina that I have to get to in time. I literally have like just the right amount of days to get to Salta, Argentina in a tuk-tuk to see her flying in. Hey, Miss Butts, what are you saying? You were good, Joe? We just arrived at the hotel and we got the package delivered. It says better than this package is to see you smile. You smile for me, Miss Butts. Hey, Miss Butts, we got it. This is it. This is the parts we need to get the job done. Just in time for the mechanics at 4 p.m, Miss Butts. We're leaving the hotel garage now. We just did a little cheeky oil top up and we're all sorted now. Going back to the new mechanic that we found, who says he can do it. Let's hope we get lucky and we can get out on the road tomorrow with a good job today. Surely, right? Hey, Kike, Chile, please pull through for me. Tu nombre es mío? Edgar. Chilean flag up there. Made some time for us. I appreciate this, man. Here we go then. It's the big time now. ¿Tienes? No, en serio. Wow, tú hiciste. Bravo, amigo, bravo. Un gran propina, amigo, necesitas por... Wow. Wow, un genio aquí. Aquí es el negocio de lo mejor mecánico en todo Chile. What a legend. I'm in awe. That took all of 5 minutes. Oh my goodness. That's it, man. 2 tools and the knowledge. I'm surprised they got that on camera because I didn't expect him to get the process started and finished so quickly. He's just started knocking that about. That's a genius. So when you think about it, you're probably at home thinking like, that's what I would have done as well. It's like, I don't know. Now I know. And weirdly enough, just like the nut, the oil filter there, it's like stuck on real tight. I don't know what the mechanics in Peru were doing, man, to be honest. They were good mechanics, but what they did with the general servicing, the one guy, he's cooked back here. Final steps, I'm a happy man, eh? This is the color of the new oil. Look at that, so much nicer than that black stuff.
Ahí está. Está full,
Ah, ya.
Sí.
¿Demasiado?
No, está bien,
no,
acá.
Perfecto,
Exacto.
perfecto, gracias.
Está un poquito más, sí.
Yeah.
¿Por qué? Porque todavía falta que cargue el filtro.
¿Feliz?
Sí, no batea nada.
Ya, bien.
Sí.
Ah,
Sequito.
qué bueno. Estoy muy feliz. Gracias, amigo. ¿Cuánto sería?
20 no va a salir.
Ya, voy a dar 40 por un gran trabajo, amigo. Te aprecio mucho. Gracias, Edgar. Gracias. A ver, gracias. Cuídate, amigo. All right. Yeah. Legend. Listen, I don't know if it's the oil change that makes it feel so smooth or it's the fact that I'm not knowingly dripping oil everywhere I go. I still can't believe it. We had to pull off. I called Dad because he called me. He was a bit worried.
So was I. So he's having a laugh at me saying like, they literally pointed a drill at Tori in the morning, and then I've just got a guy, impact screwdriver and a hammer, man. Like, and we got it done. Gonna get back home now, see Pats. We've got her paperwork, like I said. So we're off on route tomorrow to leave Chile, enter Argentina. That's gonna be over the next couple episodes. Call it there. That was a hectic bit of adventures on the three-wheel dream, but we didn't go very far at all. What a day, what a day.
Join us next week on the Thrill Dream, where we drive to the famous tourist destination of San Pedro de Atacama, finally understanding just why the Chilean desert is a must-see when traveling this part of the world. A surprising German local was able to show us around, and the Chilean woman single-handedly changes my opinion on the country just before we leave.